Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And the other day I was showing you how to make some absolutely beautiful cards, 18 cards, by using the Santa's Workshop and the little snowman and half a sheet of DSP. So I will quickly show you again what I took. So I cut one of our sheets of DSP in half, again quite carefully in half, so I was going round the actual images, and then by die cutting and fussy cutting you can get 18 different cards, even from the top and the bottom pieces. So if you look at the top piece here, you can take the bottom of the snowman, and at the bottom you can take the head of the snowman, put them together and make one card. And that's exactly what we did with this one. If you want to go back to the video to have a look, you can see exactly how I made this card. So I thought I would carry on in that vein and show you a couple more and make one together. So this is another one that I made. This again has just taken one of the images and die cut it out, put it on a little border of Pool Party and some embossing. And then at the bottom I just put fill the season with happiness. The colours I'm using, which tone in perfectly, are Pool Party and Smoky Slate. So those are the two colours that tone in perfectly. However, you could use the grey granite. You could use Bermuda Bay, you could use Calypso Coral, whatever two tones you think will tone in with the colours of this. But these I think work absolutely perfectly. So today we are going to take this image, which I have actually just put on. This is one I cut out with the oval stitch shape framelits, and I've just put it on a border of the Pool Party. So that's the image that we're going to start with, and we are going to use the Making Everyday Bright and the lovely little penguin. Now this penguin I think is absolutely beautiful, and what I've done is, to save a little time, I have cut some of the penguins out. Let me show you on here. So I have cut some of the penguins out and I have just coloured them in. Let me put it on this so you can see it a bit easier. I've coloured it in, so I stamped it out in the Smoky Slate and then coloured it in with our blends with the Pool Party and the red to just tone up with the snowman. So I've done some of them with the punch, so there's a coordinating punch, and I've just punched it out with the little light bulb at the bottom, so it's the bulb builder punch. All the details will be below in the description box, so don't worry too much. And I've cut one and just taken him round on the edge. So let's take or let's start building this up. I have got a standard card base, and then I have got the mat in the Pool Party. Now, as I've always said, waste not, want not, so I have actually used the inside, but we don't, it's not going to show. So always, you know, use your the mats that you're going to use if you can. Just cut some bits and pieces out of it, because as I say, then you're not wasting any of your cardstock. And particularly the coloured cardstock, it's absolutely lovely, so make the most of it and just turn around and use it, because as I say, you're not going to see this. So we are just going to mount this on the white card base. Says me not talking as I'm concentrating to line this up. So line that up, and then we are going to take the piece of and this is a thick whisper white. I sometimes use the standard, I sometimes use the thick, just really depending how I feel. Sometimes if I want just a little bit more sturdiness to the card, then I will put it in that way. So we are going to just put this and line this up. Now all of the mats, I take everything 1/4 of an inch smaller. So I know that international cards are slightly different in sizing, so take your card so that you have your 1/4 of an inch in between. Now we are going to take, I have taken, this is from the Winter Woods, and this is the coordinating die which gives sort of a little snowy ridge, and we're going to put that down the bottom. Now I've cut that exactly the same size as the base. We're going to pop this one up at the top in on there, so we've got a snowy ridge, and then we are going to put the little snowmen inside. So I think I need to put this up with some dimensionals. So let me have a look and grab my minis, and we are just going to put the dimensionals down on the edge. So we'll have 2 on each edge, because what I want to do is to be able to tuck the penguins in, and I don't want them showing not being able to you know, fit in. So if I'd actually put them down with the wet glue, I wouldn't be able to poke my little penguins in. And I just thought one of my favourite movies at Christmas time is The Snowman, and he travels off to the North Pole. So you have not your traditional, but you have polar bears, and I thought, oh, penguins would be quite nice. So this little snowman is travelling off to the North Pole to find his little snowmen with their pretty hats on. Now I'm not going to put this on just yet, because I want to line these pieces up. So we're going to tuck the penguins in underneath, so I can just put a little bit of Tombow just through on the back, and we'll tuck them in so they are lying flat and as if they're behind the snowy ridge. So I'll take those through on there. As I say, I absolutely love these little penguins. I think that they are so sweet, because they are, with their little bobbly hats on, they're really sweet. Now I'm probably going to have this one lining in on here, so I am going to put this one down next, and again I'm not going to put it down with dimensionals. You can do if you want to. I think it depends on how much your local postage is and where you're posting it. The postage in the UK depends on the thickness of your cards and things that you send. So sometimes if you send something and it is too thick, it then goes up into the next postage. So I try and keep not too many layers if I'm posting it. If it's for family that I'm seeing, then I will go to town and I'll put as many layers on as I can. But on this, we're just going to have just a little bit on here, and just get that on there, and we're just going to put this little one in like this, and so it just comes over the top on there, because then we've got it all sort of lining up and layering. And as I say, I love mixing and matching. I think when you've got a few stamp sets at Christmas time, and Stampin' Up with the autumn winter catalogue has some lovely sets. Oh, now that's the one that we want to use on the top, says me. Just having put that on, I need to put that to one side because I need that for the piece, because I've cut the bottom of it off. Yes, Stampin' Up has some lovely Christmas stamps, but it's the thing, like everything, you want to make the most of them, and you don't want to use them just for one thing. As you know, I spent a lot of time when the stamp sets first came out, and the first month I was doing lots and lots of cards, and not a single one was Christmassy, because I really think that our stamp sets are so diverse that you can use them, most of them, all year round. I don't think you can probably use the Santa's Workshop paper, because it is all Christmassy. But again, you can tone it in with other elements like these lovely little penguins. So let's just pop this last one in here and just tuck him down on there. So we've got our little row of penguins at the bottom in the snow. And then this one, because you can see where I fussy cut it out, there's a tiny little bit of present. What I want to do is, I've taken another little piece of the snowy ridge, and I just want to take it round on here. Now, let me see if I can very carefully. I just want to score it round so that it comes in on this. So I'm using, where are my paper snips? I think they're on the other desk. So I'm actually going to use these at the moment, which probably aren't very good. But what I want to do is to just very carefully just sort of line this up on there, lining it up so I have the penguin again just tucked in on a little piece of. So I'm just going to line myself down carefully with it and then just cut it along that line so that then he fits. Let me see if I can see the line. Yes, I can. Just tone that one in like that on the arch, and then we're going to put this one. So we need to tuck him in, the one that I've just got my little bit of glue in. So we need to tuck this one just in on top. So we'll just take a little tiny bit of, which way did I want this up? I wanted that way up, so I'm going to glue this one this way. Just put a little bit of, whoops, Tombow in on here. I've been doing a big project. I'm making an advent calendar at the moment, and I've been using my wet glue, and it's just coming to the end because I've used so much of it. Right, so we're going to just tuck him in underneath like that. So I've got him roughly where I want him. So I can then put both of the pieces down together. Let's see if we can line them sort of up against that ridge there and sort of in that corner like that. Just over that present, and then we're just going to put him down on there. So he's almost on a little bit of a snowy ridge or an iceberg, floating up, saying hello to the snowman. And then I used Merry Little Christmas, which is the sentiment, and I used that from the Peaceful Noel, which has got some lovely little sentiments, and I just wanted something very small at the bottom, so that's been stamped in the smoky slate again. So there we are. We've got another lovely card which is combining the beautiful penguins and the lovely DSP with the snowmen. So we now have 3 cards which I've done. And as I say, if you want to come back again and see me, I will be doing another few with some other ideas using what we've got to create some beautiful fun Christmas cards. So thank you so much for watching me again, and do look forward to seeing you again. Bye bye.